Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. Going to do one cast today. It is Friday the 5th or the 6th. I ain't gonna look. I think it's the 6th. I'm gonna throw, and they're running 2 units right across from mouth of Fall Creek. And I'm going to try throwing a 16th ounce sculpin and ginger jig with an orange head, and I've got 4-pound line. Going to work this bank down a little ways. A little chilly out this evening on the lake, running anyhow. That's starting to get a little fog, and that's why I wear a jacket. Otherwise, it's pretty warm today. It's up to low 90s. I'm going to get out away from the bank just a little bit more so I can cast. They ran that half unit all day today till about 5 o'clock, and then they kicked on these 2 units. It's not dropping yet. Kind of hoping it'd start to drop a little bit. Okay. Got some leaves in the water. It's that time of year. So we got to dodge them a little bit. Well, Dwayne had a trip this morning. Said that they did real good up here on the pink worm again. Says he got a fly fishing trip in the morning. No, doesn't look like I'm going to catch one. Okay. From here down there is several trees that you got to avoid for a little ways. But there are fish that hold in this area too, so. Something's going on with my trolling motor. Fish rose over there. Oh, I see. Would help if I turned it up past 1. There we go. From here down is where I really like to fish. I get down below these logs. Still pretty shallow right in this area, but get down a little further and it deepens out. That's where some big fish will hold around these docks down here. Ooh, there's one. I gave up on that cast. Well, I have him snagged. He's kind of pulling it like he's not hooked in the mouth. No, he's hooked in the mouth. Right in the side of the mouth. Nice rainbow. Wow. That's why he was pulling. Because he's big. That was cool. Seen a lot of people out drifting night crawlers and doing pretty good too. With that half unit of water running, you just want to use a little split shot or the smallest bell weight you can find. You don't want to use a lot of weight. This is where it gets a little deeper, and then you get down around these docks, it gets 7, 8, 9 feet deep. This is kind of a staging area for the browns when they start heading up to spawn. We'll see them schooled up around these docks. It's a good place to throw little stick baits. I say little to medium-sized stick baits, or throw jigs. They're rising pretty good. Got to get a little closer to the docks. I got out a little too far. It's the first dock on this side. They've really fixed that dock up nice. There is a lot of wood on this bank too, so you really can't work the bottom. Oh, I should have had him. He hit it hard. He's not watching my line. Oh, I missed another one. I think the fish are watching me touch the trolling motor. That's when they're hitting it. I'm messing with the trolling motor. I do not think I've done one cast since Bill caught his brown trout. I saw today where it made Fox News, MSN. I did check CNN and I didn't see it on CNN website. Bill's state record brown that he caught on Tuesday. So Tuesday? No, Wednesday. Wednesday's when we went to, gosh. We went to Northwest Arkansas on Wednesday to see the grandkids. And we were on Highway 86 when we got the call that Bill had caught a big fish. And we chose not to turn around and come back because we didn't think it was that big. Bill said it was big, but, you know, 40 pounds. And didn't think it would be that big. And he caught it right up here someplace. He said he was pretty close to Fall Creek, fishing this side with the pink power worm. He was fishing with, I don't know if you read the story, he went home and he immediately sat down and wrote an article about, you know, what happened, and kind of went over what he was using and equipment and all that. And he was up here fishing with a friend of his, a longtime friend, a hunting buddy from around Camdenton. Bill never fishes on a guide trip, and he never really fishes unless he's on a guide trip. He bass fishes some, But he didn't come over here and trout fish on his own. And he was fishing with his buddy, and they were just catching rainbows. And he hooked the fish. He immediately knew it was a big fish. Then the fish came to the surface, and then he knew he had a really big fish. And the fish never really dove down very deep. It swam around the boat a few times. He kept it out of the trolling motor. He moved the boat to the middle of the lake, and within 3 or 4 minutes he landed it. He's using 6X tippet. It was 3.1 pounds. And he called me, and he said that he caught a fish bigger than Frank. And I thought, he didn't catch a fish bigger than Frank. But he said, I can't get it in the live well, what do I do? And I said, stick the head in the live well and take it back to the resort. So he stuck the head in the live well and got it back. And after they got it into the tank at the dock, Bill went back out fishing. They weren't done fishing. He said fishing was great. They caught a lot of really nice rainbows. But and of course I got texts, and I got pictures, and I got phone calls, and I was kind of trying to tell them, give them ideas of what they could do with the fish, and just remind them of some things. And there we go. We've had a lot of big fish come in here lately. That stick swirled just like it was a fish. Felt good. And every time I think we learn something about handling these fish and trying to keep them alive. Of course, the water quality right now is not as good as it was when Paul caught Frank in February. And but at the same time, this fish wasn't, it's a 3-minute fight versus a 20 or 30-minute fight. So he should not have been as stressed as Frank was, yet he was doing really good in our tank. The fish had not been pulled out, not been messed with. No pictures had been taken of the fish. And he basically went from doing real good to belly up, they said, within 10 seconds. Something happened when he was in the tank. This is before any pictures or any video or anything. And of course, at that time, they thought, well, if the fish is dying, which it pretty clearly was, they wanted to get it weighed as soon as possible, because fish will start losing weight pretty rapidly after they die. So with the biologists there, and they got the scale set up and everything. When Bill got back, they took the fish. Of course, you can watch the video. But at that point, the fish was still moving, but it lost all its color. And when the fish loses its color, it's dying. It's dead. You just can't bring them back. So this fish either had a heart attack or something. And we talked to the biologist, we talked to Shane, we talked to the hatchery manager, Clint, and they said we did everything right. There's just really hardly anything else that we could have done. So anyhow, that's kind of the story behind the fish, and it didn't survive. It really makes us real thankful that Frank lived. It just, you know, that fish went through a lot more abuse and still survived, so it's pretty cool. You know, I'm getting bites, but I'm not hooking anything. I just had a bite the last cast. I just got another one. Sure, my hook's fine. Water's starting to slow down just a little bit. But Bill, he's a pretty humble guy. He was trying to get his buddy Mark to reel the fish in. He didn't really want credit for catching it. At the same time, he felt very, very fortunate, very blessed that the Lord graced him with this catch. I think he's gotten a little bit more national coverage than Paul did with Frank. I know some of the comments on our Facebook page are now coming from New Zealand, where the world record fish was caught. And so it's interesting to see how social media works, and everybody has an opinion. But in talking to a couple of the other guides, and even, you know, Dwayne, as much as we're out here, as much as Dwayne's out here, nobody saw this fish coming. You know, we knew Frank was out there. We knew about how big he was, and some of the other fish that we've seen and observed and filmed. But this fish, I don't think was on anybody's radar as big as it was. And so that really makes you think, in this year class of triploid fish that was stocked back in 2013, is there another one out there bigger? And these fish, these triploids that are being caught now from that year class, at only 8.5 years old, how long are they going to live? And how big will they get? So after Frank was caught and he was 34 pounds, we thought, well, you know, oh, there's a fish. We might have a high 30s, low 40s brown come in a year or two. We had no idea it would come in this quick. Well, that's a nice chunky fish too. Wow. We took some DO reading at the dissolved oxygen reading at the dock this morning, and it was 7. Golly, I want to show that one off. It was 7.8, which is really, really good. We're really happy with that. So, and these fish are fighting hard. This is probably going to be my last cast though. Ooh, there was another bite. I'm going to throw one more time. We had some friends out in the pontoon today, actually Paul Cruz and his wife, and Steve and Joe Beth Lisby. And as we were going back down at this point, Steve, he had his sunglasses on and he said, "Oh my." And we didn't see it, but he said there was a great big fish right out here in front of the boat ramp, swimming upstream. We circled back around and see if we could catch a glimpse of it, and we didn't see him, but this is the area that Paul Hook Frank is right around this boat ramp, so I like fishing in front of this boat ramp, so. Oh, I saw him. I saw him when I hooked him. He turned sideways. I'm still out of practice, I guess. Okay, I'm done. I know Wes Johnson from the Springfield Newsletter up here in Springfield, Missouri is going to do a story on brown trout in Lake Taneycomo, and he talked to Paul, and he talked to Bill, and probably post a link on our webpage, on our Facebook webpage, and might take a look at that tomorrow or the next day. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.